Hello everybody, this is Gene Hall with Texas Farm Bureau and Texas Farm Bureau Ag Fund. I'm here with Texas Agriculture Commissioner candidate J Carnes. We're on a farm here in McLennan County and Coryell County, and we're talking to leaders of those two county farm bureaus. Jay, why don't we visit the farm today?
Well, this is why I'm doing this. These are the people that I'm representing, and this is my livelihood, where I come from, and at the urging of people around my farm and some of the issues that we had is why I got involved. And we really need leaders and leaders out there that know what they're doing, that know their background, and know the people they're representing. And agriculture, I think, going forward in a very state that's becoming very popularized very quick, and a lot of people moving into our urban areas need people that want to represent agriculture. And then that's the short end of my story. That's who I am, and I want to make sure that these people and farmers around this great state that produce our food supply all over the state and that feed much of the nation and much of the world have somebody that they can rely on in office.
Okay. We're going to move on here. I talked to some of these farmers and ranchers that are here today from McLennan County Farm Bureau and the Coryell County Farm Bureau, and from Coryell County, and a member of the Texas Farm Bureau Board of Directors. This is Neil Walter. Neil, you were involved in making this decision. What went into it, and why are we supporting J Allen Carnes and Ag Fund?
We're supporting Jay and Ag Fund because he's one of us. He's a producer that gets dirt on his hands and has a long history of production agriculture. And we're looking for someone who just wants to be a good administrator for the department here in Texas. Not looking for anybody that has necessarily higher goals of political races. We just want him to be a good administrator to defend and protect agriculture in the Department of Agriculture here at Texas.
Okay, thanks, Neil. We're going to move over here. We're going to talk to Kevin Huffman, who is president of the McLennan County Farm Bureau. And what do you think some of the issues are involved in this race, Kevin?
Well, I think from a ag producer standpoint is we just want to ensure that we're represented in Texas in the worldwide race for food or whatever it may be, whether it be in the vegetable industry or the grains industry or whatever, that we're represented. And when we have a representative, that he knows what we're about. When you're from this background, you understand some of the struggles and some of the regulations and some of the things that cause us to lose money in the bottom line in our revenue. So important thing is here that we have somebody we can communicate with and tell our story.
And Texas chooses the commissioner, all of Texas, and yet he speaks for agriculture. How important do you think that role is?
Well, I think it's huge, and he speaks for the entire state of Texas, as you say. And those are where the votes are going to come from, too. And here as farmers today, we're just trying to let the public also know that we choose J Carnes as our candidate. This is a guy that will represent us. He will represent the state of Texas to ensure that we have a safe and abundant food supply here in Texas. And there's nothing more than we want than to raise food here in Texas, grown here in Texas, and consumed by Texans. And it's a great state. We have a lot of versatility in the state, from vegetables to beef. It's a huge process here in Texas to cover all that, and we just want the consumers to know that we want to be partners with them in ensuring safe food supply.
Moving on over here to talk to a great lady who happens to be Kevin's mother, Hope Huffman, a former member of the Texas Farm Bureau Board of Directors, and you were involved in another ag commissioner's race a few years ago,
Yes.
which launched the political career of Rick Perry. Yes. Tell us about the Ag Fund process a little bit and how important that is to speak out and be part of this race.
Well, certainly that was important. That was a new era for Farm Bureau, and Ag Fund is very instrumental in its endorsement. We do it by the board interviewing and selecting the candidates, and we think that J Carnes is definitely a plus for us.
Thank you very much. Moving back over here to the back row, let's talk a little bit more about J Carnes and why this race is important to you, sir.
Well, the whole package of the state's agricultural issues, from production to consumer, want a good, safe flow of food to our consumers, and how to get it there.
And you feel comfortable having a guy that, as Mr. Walter said, actually gets dirt on his hands in that job?
Sure do. Looking forward to the role that Jay can play in that role.
Well, very good. Let's move back over here and talk to Jay Carnes again. And Jay, what do you think this race comes down to in terms of issues? What is the central point of people talking about a lot of things, a lot of social issues and other things, but we don't really have time for that, do we?
No, you know, this is a serious race about serious industry and issues that face all Texans. You know, it really doesn't matter if you're in downtown Houston or out here on a farm. We're all tied to agriculture, and you know, people across our state need to realize it's been a huge backbone of our economy for so long. But it boils down to, if you eat or you wear clothes, you're tied to agriculture. And you know, we've been talking about that. That's what's been important in this race, to talk about the issues related to that job and the issues that agriculture and consumers will face in this great state moving forward. You know, a lot of the other things that people are talking about, I mean, they're important, but they're not important to this job that we're facing. And I think that's what set my candidacy apart to this point. I think that's what has intrigued Farm Bureau and others about me, that, you know, I want to focus on that office, and I want to make sure that office is run in a way that supports not only the consumers of the state, but the great farmers and ranchers across the state. And you know, that's what set us apart to this point, and I think that's what voters are seeing and are hearing, and they're hearing about a candidate that really wants to focus on his office that he's running for, and then he has some background in that office that he's seeking. So it's been great to this point, but we really have to focus and have the support of a lot of our urban partners too. And really, when it comes down to it, you know, you just interviewed a lot of some of the farm community, and there are not only the voters in this race, there are consumers also, and that's the people that in Texas that we really need to focus on, and that we need to talk to and explain how we do things, why we do them, and what the benefits are for Texas as a whole, not just for the farmers and ranchers in the state.
We're here with Jay Carnes at a farm in McLennan and Coryell County, Texas. Folks, when you go to the polls and vote in the Republican primary, you've got a choice to make for governor, for lieutenant governor, and so on. But going down the ballot, there's another very important race, and that's Texas Commissioner of Agriculture. Farm Bureau Ag Fund recommends you vote for J Allen Carnes. Thanks for watching.